Hello, hi, welcome to I Yap about the books I read in January that didn't go into videos. We're not doing the snappy, like, 2-second clip of me and then go into intro today because two reasons, which are two caveats I have to go into before I start talking about books. I swear to God, do not start eating your bones right now, but Ivy. First one, in case you don't know, I have a lot of chronic pain and health issues. And normally I can ignore them when I'm filming, if it's just typical normal chronic pain. But one, I'm on, I think, over 12 hours of this migraine, so this isn't gonna be high energy. I'm just trying to survive. I have my green drink here. It tastes disgusting. I'm gonna talk over the dogs, chewing their bones, I guess. I'm just gonna be drinking this the whole time. So if you see anything green in my teeth, no, you don't, and we're ignoring it. It tastes disgusting, but sometimes it helps. And if this doesn't work, I'm gonna drink like this much Dr. Pepper in a small glass, because somehow that fixes it 90% of the time. And if I swear to God, if that fixes it, I'm gonna call somebody to have them make sure I have Dr. Pepper on hand. Because, like, what the hell is going on with that? But also on top of that, I'm dealing with a new symptom I've never had before, and it's on like hour 28 or fit or something. Like, it's insane. And I'm not stressing about that at all. Oh God, so disgusting. Oh. Anyways, the other reason is kind of connected to the genres that I majority read this month, which I think like more than half are just romances in general, right? Or my cozy manga series, right? Generally, I only read cozy manga series, let's be honest. And the reason why is if I'm reading fiction right now, I want something that I can turn my brain off and just have a fun time, right? I say that because I also read a lot of nonfiction, and we'll be talking about 3 of them today. And I was thinking about how I'm gonna have to bring up the fact that 2 of them are very political and anti-MAGA in the very beginning. But then I was thinking about it, and I think the third one, well, technically the second one, but the third one is also political. It's just in a similar way. And you know, that's great. You know, literally, if I'm reading something that's I have to have my brain on for, I'm reading nonfiction right now. I'm not doing like high fantasy, sci-fi, anything with like heavy plot. I'm here for a good time or to be really depressed about the world right now. To hear which links for Minnesota below. That's been like a thing, I think, in every video since this week's gaming video, and will be, right? So that's just a thing. I've already gotten people disliking videos because of it. Love it, love it. So yeah, if that's not your vibe, goodbye. The end. Also, the dogs are gonna be like here the whole time because they know I don't feel good when that happens. They sit right by me. Like literally all morning when I was finishing the last book for this, they were on that couch, which Bella's about to go climb onto. Anyways, let's talk about stats. I have that. I read 22 books. 10 of them will be talked about here. I love how I don't have to count because I added a thing in my tracker that tracks which ones are for videos. So I don't have to do the math. It will probably be 23 by the end of the month because I am in the middle of a specific gay hockey romance. Cough, cough. But that's gonna be for a video, cough, cough. So, you know, I've read as of now, like it's not even noon yet on the last day of the month, right? I read 5,399 pages, 69 hours. Woo! Good times. I think my most read genre is tied between contemporary romance and manga, so lovely. And my average rating was a 3.89. Those are the stats that you need to know about. I don't go in depth about it anymore. The first book we're gonna talk about, I didn't think I was gonna get my physical copy in time, but I did just in time. Like I got it 2 days ago. Because this is a book I had the arc of. I read the e-arc of. This is, I think, the only arc in like the past 6 months that I have read before the publishing date. Technically, the publishing date. Like the publishing day at 2 a.m. is when I finished it. But it's the only one in like 6 months. I'm really behind on arcs. Anyways, this is read by Jess Turner. I not only was part of the arc team, I was also a beta reader and on the street team. I'm in the acknowledgements. I'm on the bottom. I'm down here in the acknowledgements. I feel famous now. Also, yes, I did when I bought it for you. Like, I got it signed, and for the note, I said for the best model because my first reaction when I saw the cover was I don't remember modeling for this because the joke is I'm always every rose ever. So, anyways, this looks much better in person. I feel like I also have to bring this up. The lettering for red is very cool and interesting. I love how Mem did that. Speaking of which, Mem does have a YouTube channel. It's in my connected channels, I think, on my homepage. And whatnot. But yes, Jess. She also does Twitch. I'll put all the stuff below. I'll put it all below. I'll do like the Minnesota links, and then her. I feel like she'd appreciate that. But yes, that's the plan. And then it will be me. I'll be on the bottom. Anyways, so yeah, like I have talked about this book a lot, but I'm still putting in here. Also, this is my favorite of the month. I get to start with the favorite of the month. This is the only 5-star that wasn't a reread. That's not the thing. I've been rereading to feel joy. This is about her codename is Red, which is the first book in the codename series. Which is codenames is a band that Red is the / Melly Kiss is the defunct leader / head singer of this band, in which they all have code names for privacy reasons and whatnot. And hers is Red because she has red hair. And so that's that. It's a romance between her and Lincoln, who goes to the same college that her childhood best friend goes to. That's like an hour and a half, 2 hours away, right? So it's a little bit of a long distance thing. In which this best friend has a thing where she is in an on and off again relationship for years with the same guy, and she just broke up with him for like the 6 billionth time because she has a thing for Lincoln, and so she wants to try it out with Lincoln. The issue is that the guy she broke up with is on the same hockey team with Lincoln. So like the first time you get Lincoln's POV, he learns about this breakup, and he's like, I hope it's not because of me, because like I wouldn't date her. That's like, that'd be horrible for like one, the team, but also like I liked flirting with her, but like nothing serious, right? Anyways, so Red, aka Millie, is in the same town for Halloween, for a show, and goes to a Halloween party. She unknowingly makes out with Lincoln, not knowing it's the same guy that her best friend is really into. And then her best friend introduces her at this party to Lincoln, and she's like, oh shit, and they start up a relationship, and it's cute. He has family drama. She has a heart condition. It's a fun time. It's on Kindle Unlimited. If you have Kindle Unlimited, it's great. I loved it. 5 stars. The end. I really went into the political nonfiction really fast because the second one we have to talk about is also a red cover. Separation of Church and Hate is a book that goes very deep into the Bible in general, but also history, to basically be every counter argument you could have to use in your whole entire life against MAGA or anyone very anti-trans, gay, immigrants, any ism, because Jesus told me I could be type thing. That's essentially the whole book. It is very clearly well researched. Also, bonus point, he is somebody who his parents were very progressive politically, but also at the same time very religious and had very specific views about like his mother was a nun when his parents met, like, right? Like that's how religious they are. He has very certain views about certain things. I think they're anti-abortion and stuff like that. And so he's all like it's not black and white, but like you have to have these counter arguments to help them understand. And so he's like somebody who grew up in the household that a lot of us, I assume, especially this generation, my generation and younger, grew up in, and how to basically deal with Thanksgiving, essentially. I think that's a joke he actually makes in the book. Anyways, it's well researched. He reads it really well because I'm pretty sure he narrates it himself. I think, yeah, all the audiobooks or not audiobooks, well that too, all the nonfiction I'm talking about in this were narrated by themselves. The one that I'm not was, the intro was, but the rest of it was narrated by somebody else because it was a whole thing. But that one was also political, by the way. Anyways, it's good. 4 stars. I rated, spoiler, essentially, unless of like very rare chances, I rate nonfiction higher than 4 stars. So that's the thing. It was good, well researched. It made me laugh a few times. Great to listen to as I play Planet Crafter for the 3rd time. So thanks for getting me through the first moon. Love that. Anyways, let's talk about Yona the Dawn. So there's an issue where like a good chunk of these were read in the past like 5 days, because I realized at that point I had read 6 books that could be used in this video, and 4 of them were Yona the Dawn. In my end of year video where I go through every one of my series, I realized I was kind of close to the end of Yona the Dawn, or at least what's out right now. There's 45 volumes out right now. I read 5 volumes this month. One of them was in a video, 35 was in a video, so we don't get to talk about that one. But I read 36, 37, 38, and 39. Because I'm at the point where I'm ahead of everybody else who's been just passing along the holds back and forth. Whoever can get them first wins type thing on my library card. I've surpassed them all somehow, and so they were all available, so I kept on, so I just borrowed them all, and they were due in like 2 days. One of them I finished 9 minutes before it was due. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. And so, stupid cream. So, that's the thing that has happened. Also, I realized when I was, doing end of year posts that I did rate one of the volumes 5 stars, and that's so funny. Anyways, this is the last you're gonna hear about Yona the Dawn of these. Because there was a video in which I'm like so close to the end. I have, all of them already downloaded on Libby, right? And there's a finishing series video that I want to catch up the series on, and so it's just gonna be like 5 minutes of me talking about these last 5, 6 volumes, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. Okay, it has technically be 6 volumes, but you know, I'm essentially so close to being caught up. I don't know what I'm gonna do after that. I think what's gonna happen is while I wait for them to come out, because not only do I have to wait for them to come out, I'm expecting like 5 more volumes total. I know it's in the middle of the last arc right now, like we're almost done. I'm expecting 5 more volumes to be around at 50. That's my guess. But on top of having to wait for them to come out, I also have to wait for them to be translated in English. Sadly, I do not read Japanese. Every day is an issue. I wish. So instead, I think I'm gonna start my reread and actually finish Fruits Basket. Fruits Basket, which is Oron and that one were the 2 I was obsessed with in middle school, and my library only had like the first 3 or 4 of both of the series. So I'm gonna finally fucking read the rest of the series. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So don't worry, there's still gonna be manga. It's just gonna be a completely different series I get to talk about. Anyways, what's Yona the Dawn about? Yona the Dawn is about a woman who witnesses on her 16th birthday the murder of her father by her cousin. She goes on the run, right, with her personal guard, who is blamed for it. And in her journeys, she comes across the 4 dragons who are like gods / political figures from history that are like they're worshipped like gods, but also believed to not be real type thing. It's kind of the thing. Anyway, she comes across them, and they start following her. Where I'm at, listen, I had a very strong theory because she has red hair, and this is Japan in the Middle Ages. I don't think people just had red hair. But so I thought she was like secretly the red dragon who was like the leader of the dragons. She was like the descendant of him. That's why they all followed her. It was like this very deep bond they had. No, it's actually somebody else. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's somebody else. And it's not about who the red dragon is. It's like the soul of the red dragon. Right? The importance of the red dragon who imitates the red dragon and his importance and his views and all this stuff. And that's Yona. Anyways, throughout the series, her, the four dragons, and Hawk, her personal guard, travel across the country, just helping the little people. Except now she's back home, where the cousin who killed her father is king and is kind of keeping her captive. It's like a mutual beneficial thing. And she's helping him stop a war. I think the last volume I read, they were literally on the battlefield. Like, she was in the front of the battlefield. That's another thing. He is chronically ill and actively dying, so she has to like make sure nobody figures this out, right? And then also, like, in case he does get incapacitated because of this, she has to rule the army. I do love how they have her just like up front, and then they're like, oh no, we gotta protect Yoda, bitch. Also, people are like, is the front line's a good place for a woman to be? I have seen this woman shoot multiple people with a bow and arrow. I don't know what they're on about. I've also seen her stab people. I don't. At one point, she actually almost shoots somebody in it. Okay. Anyways, Hawk's up here doing stuff as well. And there is a Hawk and Yoda romance. I love it. Volumes 36, 37, 38, 39. It's just more of this arc, where she's starting to get more along with her cousin. Also, it's a lot of other political people. They're trying to figure out who's going to rule after he dies. And people are trying to realize maybe Yona's a good option. Because one, she's politically savvy. Two, she's got military training now because of Hawk. And three, the people really love her. And four, she is the princess. Guys, I think you keep on forgetting she is the princess. She is the only child of the last king. I know. Like, it makes sense for her to be the next ruler, right? Right? Also, she has the dragons. That's another thing. She has the literal gods on her side. I think it makes sense, and people are just clocking this. I'm like, okay. I do love it. I do love it when people just expect her not to be able to do anything politically savvy, when she has to take over because the cousin's ill, because she's a woman, and then she just really shows them up so fast. They really never expect that, and then everyone, including everyone on his side, is all like, wait a second, she can do that? Yeah. Anyways, clearly, even when I feel like I'm dying, I can yap about that series. 4 stars for all 4 of them. Next one is another reread. I think this was either my 4th or 5th read of this. I have issues. This is possibly my favorite. I think this is my favorite gay romance, period. I think it's my favorite historical gay romance, for sure. Is it my favorite historical romance? I think it's tied with The Wallflower Wager by Tessa Dare. This is The Secret Life of Country Gentleman by KJ Charles. It's good soup. Thanks to the sister's boyfriend who bought it for me. I think beginning of August last year, because if I remember properly, he went to Barnes & Noble, and they had on sale, like, more than half off, this Pride and Prejudice themed little canvas bag, but like gay version. And so I assume it's post Pride month, so it was on sale, so they just need to get rid of their stock, so he also bought that for me with this. And the last time I read this was in May of last year. It follows Gareth and Joss. Gareth is kind of like the disowned son of I think he's an earl, right? So he, after his mother died, right, his father sent him away to live with his own brother, with Gareth's uncle, and the uncle, like, he started working in a little bit of a legal field with his uncle, whatnot, but he never was accepted in the house. He was always like his uncle always complained about him being there, but also like made sure he knew that the whole entire reason why he let him stay there because his father was literally paying him to keep him, right? And so to let off some steam, semi-regularly, he goes to this essentially gay bar, where he meets up with Joss. They have fake names for each other, right? And they have some fun naked times. That's really like the first 10 pages, is that, except Joss has to go back to his hometown, and so he's gonna leave for a while, and Gareth was late because he is dealing with personal family drama. Later on we learned that his uncle let him go from the business, and whatnot, and there's a whole entire conspiracy to do with a lot of missing money because of that, and that's the reason why. So he feels like Gareth has a lot of abandonment issues because of his family, and so the fact that Joss is leaving as well and says that he's gonna come back for him, make Gareth be like, there's no way anybody would come back for me, so he's rude to him. They both leave, and then like a day or two later, he learns that his father is dead, assumably of a heart attack, right? His father is dead, so he has to go to what is called Romney Marsh, he's now the earl, go to his family estate. He assumed his dad, because his dad did get remarried and have another child, a daughter, and so he assumed that everything would be going to her except the earldom, because like she can't have that, right? Except this 16-year-old girl, I think she's 16, he is not the best person. His father wasn't. He essentially just never changed his will. Also, after his second wife died, started sleeping with his housemate, who is also his second wife's sister. I should also mention, both of them were daughters of a parish. I hate this man so much. So Gareth shows up, unknowingly that all this was happening, having strong opinions about all this, and they didn't even know he existed. Especially, I think the Catherine did, but I don't think the sister did. I think the sister didn't know that he existed. So it's like all a shock for her. So he's trying to get into good graces with these two women that are now in his control, right? And part of that is that his half sister is starting to date essentially a soldier, and the soldier is very anti-smugglers, and there's a lot of smugglers in the area. That's like how the whole town survives. Blah 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 blah. He likes to take long walks at night, and he likes to look at nature and whatnot. He's taking a long walk at night. He catches some smugglers. He witnesses it. He tries to brag about it, so that his sister likes him. And then his sister's boyfriend decides to put him on the stand about it. And this is where we're getting to my favorite part. I can talk about this book too, even when I'm not feeling good. That's how you know it's a 5-star. Anyways, Joss is the leader of the smugglers. This is his hometown. He's the leader of the smugglers. He's away doing business as all this is happening, and it's his sister that's being put on trial and will be killed, right? And so he's trying to send messages to Gareth to be like, hey, it's me, the guy from the gay bar. Don't hang my sister, because I do technically have blackmail. Because, well, I don't think anybody will care about me being gay. Like, maybe some people have opinions, but, like, I'm all their bosses. Who cares, right? You are an earl, and it's very illegal in this time. Gareth does not know this until he's already on the stand, and Joss comes out of nowhere, and he has to publicly step out of the stand and be like, I know nothing, because this man is blackmailing him, and then it's a lot of, like, Joss feeling bad and trying to apologize to him, and there's miscommunication because of their own personal experiences in life, right? And then, slowly, because of the stuff that his father was up to, and how it's putting him in danger now, he has to, like, use Joss's help, and they start talking again, and then they start having fun naked times again, and it's really good. Can you tell? Because I'm dying and I'm still able to yap about it. I love it so much. Anyways, second non-fiction, we have Jane Austen's bookshelf. This is the one that I was like, it's not that political, and then I realized the whole entire book is about how the erasure of a woman's work in general, but also to up men's work more. It's maybe a little political. This is a nonfiction about how this one rare book dealer who has a love for books, right? There's also a thing to mention where she is ex-Mormon. I didn't learn this until like halfway through the book. She's ex-Mormon, and also I don't know if but she gives bisexual vibes, and I have no way to like explain why. She just does, and then she does call her partner her partner. So I don't know what that says about me, but she does give vibes, and I'm moving on from that. Anyways, while doing that, she bought like a giant collection of books, right? And she is looking up some of the titles in there, and she learns one of them is in one of her most popular novels is where Jane Austen got the title of Pride and Prejudice from. And then she went, wait a second, I thought Jane Austen, like, is widely considered she's like widely considered the first female writer, English writer, right? And then in more research learned there was others, except they were erased from canon and whatnot. And she was like, I want to learn about these women who inspired this one who was very important to my adolescence, right? And so she goes into one Jane Austen, and then each of them, I think is it 8, 6, something like that. Wait, I can check because I did when I was reading it highlight the title of each chapter / part because that was the woman, so that I can remember them and look them up later. I think there's only one that I had heard of before, and the only reason I did, like, I didn't even realize it was the same woman. I just happened to have one of her books on my TBR. I love that for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then there's one I didn't highlight because politically we are not allowed and I don't want to read her books based off of what the author said in it. She herself had a lot of difficulty. So there's 8 women who she then goes into deep research about their lives in general, their books, how their books inspired Jane Austen, how she assumes / knows that Jane Austen read her books, right? And then how she was erased from canon. Sometimes when they were even alive, wild. And then on top of that, essentially the moral of the story is sexism with a little bit of classism thrown in for fun. We love that. That's the moral of the story. I am recommending it to like multiple people. I know somebody who loves Jane Austen, and I was like, hey, and loves to read classics and feminist literature. So I was like, hey, read this so that you can get a bunch more recommendations for classic female writers, because now I have so many I want to read. Right, and then there's another one. I have another friend who doesn't like classics that much, but loves nonfiction, and the whole entire how they were raised from canon aspect she would be really interested in, so she's reading it for that reason. There's like, it goes in depth about enough things where a lot of people could enjoy it. It was good, 4 stars. Then I reread, it's a dark romance. The Risk, which is the first book in the Mindfuck series. Okay, hear me out. This is my 3rd read. Last year, around halfway through the year, I reread it because I had a plan to go through the whole entire series, right? Again, because in hindsight, I don't think it's as good as I think it is. Like, I can remember issues where the one bisexual character we get fakes 2 different disabilities in a series. That's great. And then also I remember in the end of the book, the lesbian character ends up with a bisexual man who I would like to know is described to have a preference for men, and yet he ends up with a lesbian woman, and they tend to have threesomes with other women. So I don't right? Anyways, I say that, but I stand by the risk being really good. I don't think the rest of them will be as good, especially the end. I don't think the end's gonna, since I already know what happened back then, I think the ending will be less of a shocking, like, oh my god, blah, 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 finally learning everything. It will be more of a, like, yeah, okay. Right? This is about Lana, who, when she was younger, like 18, 19, 20, she was, it is not going into detail yet. It's not until like the last one or second to last one. I don't remember which one. It does not go into detail. But she was getting assaulted by a bunch of men. And she has, it's been like 10 years since then. She has healed physically and emotionally enough where she is now has a plan to go through them one by one and kill them all. As she slowly tortures them as she does it, they all assuming she's dead. But in the beginning of this book, this is another issue that I have. I didn't clock this the first time, 2 times I read it. Where there's Logan, who is an FBI agent. In the beginning of this book, she meets him because one of his coworkers, Craig, who thinks he's a hotshot, and no woman has ever turned him down. He tries to hit on her. She turns him down. He yells at her in the middle of this public cafe. That's fine. I don't want frostbite on my dick anyways. Okay, sure. Anyways, Logan finds this very funny, and so pays for her meal, and whatnot, and she goes out after him to give him the money, right? And he, basically, why do I forget words? He psychoanalyzes her, for me forgetting the actual term, psychoanalyzes her to be, using a feminist cover to put distance between her and everybody else, and that's what she's doing right now. Sir, your friend just publicly harassed her in a public area and yelled about his dick at her after she turned him down, and then you paid for her food. She feels uncomfortable for a reason, but also she doesn't actually feel uncomfortable because she's a badass woman who kills bad men. Anyways, he's an FBI agent who hunts down serial killers, and he gives her his number, and they start a relationship. So it's like a relationship between an FBI agent and a female serial killer. I do like the aspects of like where it goes into like the counter forensic measure she goes through. Like she has special boots made that makes it so they're like large men's boots, but they have an equal heel to toe imprint, so that they think she's man. Also, they think that she's 240 pounds because when she purposely walks in dirt to get into the houses or whatever, she is wearing weighed down backpacks on her front and on her back, so that she looks like she's 240 pounds. Also, she makes sure when she strangles them to knock them out, that it is when they are on the ground, so they can't figure out that she's like pulling down like this, because she's so much shorter than them. So like that aspect's fun. I'm keeping it at 5 stars because I'm too lazy to lower it back down to 4.5. It originally was 4.5, then last time I upped it to 5. Now I want to lower it back to 4.5, but I'm too lazy to do that process. So it's keeping it at a 5-star. It's still good. I am actively planning to read the next one next month, so like it's gonna happen. I'm gonna go through the whole series again. It's like one of those 2 series I want to do that with. So I'm gonna actually do it. And then the last book I'll go on is 107 Days by Kamala Harris. I think I did it right. Listen, it even tells you how to pronounce her name in it at one point. Listen, if I pronounce it wrong, I apologize. I have learned very recently, in a filming of a certain hockey show / book video that comes out next week, cough cough, He's Rivalry. I can't pronounce L's. L's are very difficult for me. I think the intro of that is just gonna be me sped up very fast. The 2 minutes I sat there trying to pronounce Heated Rivalry before I gave up and I just say it and hope for the best. Like, I can't do L's apparently. I'm sorry. Anyways, it is about the 107 days she had to run as presidential candidate from the moment she learned that Biden was gonna step down and promote her as his choice for the Democratic candidate, up until like election day. Like the fact that she had to do all this work, it's 107 days. It is very interesting. There's also like the whole aspect of like his team never protected her from the racist or sexist things said about her, and let lies come out about her. And so then when she was running for president, she had to post-emptively like take care of all of that, not look bad about looking down upon some of the things that Biden has said, but also not get down on Trump's level. It was like very interesting how that was done. Right, like so it was so chaotic that her husband forgot her own birthday. Like it was a mess. Also, I think it was like 10 days or something she had to choose for a vice president, because that's how long she had until she had to be on ballots, and had to be on ballots for like whoever was going to be the lead runner for Democrats. She already had to have a vice president on there. There had to be 2 names next to each other. And so that's like there's that whole process where she was like very fast going through like all these people to try to figure out who'd be her vice president, and whatnot. There's other things, I assume. I don't know. Oh, I also got to learn like more about her life pre being a politician, which I found very interesting. Honestly, the most interesting part. To me, did I get kind of emotional as I got further and further along, and everyone on her team and her just assumed they were gonna win. And then it's like the night up, and they're assuming they're gonna win. I assumed she was gonna win. I went to bed that night assuming she was gonna win. Woke up, she didn't win. Called my mom's boyfriend at the time, and I went, "Can you buy me wine?" And he came home with a giant box of wine for me because a girl needed it. Anyways, you know, that is what that is. It's literally just like day by day what happened during that time. It's very interesting. She reads it herself. There's also like the whole family aspect, how families are treated, how the gut punch, underthrow. I don't know what I'm trying to say. The tactics that Trump and Vance did that are generally used to not be accepted, like Vance hating on was it Weitz is his name, her vice president, like basically saying that he was not really in the army, just to like spread that rumor, right? How there were like rules put in place where they couldn't, right, say sexist or racist things about her, and yet they still did, to the point where the first time Trump says her name properly is when he's already won. Right? And then there's also like the attacks of their families and stuff like that. There's a whole point where he's all like, I didn't know she was black. She wasn't black until I didn't see. Listen, I try not to listen to what that man says, but he said something about the fact that he didn't know she was black because she wasn't black until she wanted everybody to know that for a fact. He just thought she was Indian. I didn't even know her mom was Indian. I'm gonna be honest, okay? Like, anyways, 4 stars. It was well done. I read the last hour of it this morning. The end. I'm gonna go edit this whole bad boy. That's the last one. The links below. I already talked about the ones that are going to be there. Wednesdays are gaming videos, but also I stream on Twitch regularly, and if you want to see those beforehand, that's where it is. Right. Also, if you want to figure out what books I'm reading beforehand, I also regularly talk and or actively reading them there. And sometimes I go into deep conversations about Jane Austen's or classics in general. I don't know how to explain why I do the things I do. And then Saturdays are booktube videos like this. Next week's I know is Heated Rivalry. Still have difficulty pronouncing it. Yay. I post on Instagram sometimes. I post on TikTok like never. That's all the things until the next video.